Jimmy Rivera versus Behzad Usmanov. The numbers presented by Crescent Tools.
Usmanov a little bit tall, 3 inches right there, but virtually identical in all other aspects right here, Sean. Should be a great fight. Both these guys are extremely high level, extremely tough fighters. This is going to be a good one.
From Tajikistan, now based in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Behzad Usmanov, set to make his BKFC debut. Usmanov, 39-5 in pro Muay Thai, 11-4 in pro MMA. He's also had 3 pro boxing matches. Usmanov, extremely polite, extremely considerate, extremely well-spoken. Speaks English, Russian, and Uzbek. Said he prides himself on being a very smart, very calm fighter.
Not only that, but he feels like he can do it all. Has a lot of disciplines behind him right there. Muay Thai, boxing just does a lot. Feels like he mimics Dominic Cruz when he fights, which is very difficult to mimic.
Usmanov said against Jimmy Rivera in this featherweight bout, I want to utilize constant movement. He said, I feel that I will be able to read Rivera very well. I have huge belief in my cardio. I know Rivera will keep pushing forward. I have to throw my jab and hit my angles.
Feels like he's faster, has better angles, better cardio, all the important aspects of what he needs to do to win. He feels like he possesses those.
Jimmy Rivera set for bout number 2 in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Rivera coming to BKFC after an outstanding pro MMA career, which he went 23-5. Rivera fighting 11 times in the UFC. He was a cast member season 14, The Ultimate Fighter. Rivera also fighting 4 times in Bellator. Rivera told us, I want to fight in the pocket, and once I'm on the inside, I want to stay on the inside. Rivera also said, I want to use smart transitions from the pocket to the clinch and back again.
Well, and one thing he loves, he feels like this opponent's going to come forward, and he says when that happens, he has a much funner fight. Feels like he's going to do a good job of adapting out there to a very difficult style from his opponent.
Rivera also said, I want to use level changes. I want to use feints to get to the inside. I have to be very precise with my body shots, and I have to be explosive in my movement.
Absolutely. Jabs and straights are going to be the most important thing for him coming in against his opponent. Knows the movement's going to be awkward, so that's where he has to go. Lead him with those straight punches, and that's what's going to close that distance for him.
Rivera said, I'm expecting a lot of forward aggression, a lot of big swings from Behzad Usmanov. I have to get through all of those to establish myself on the inside. I can't be reckless, and I cannot get stuck in range.
Said he really doesn't want to initiate the clinch, but if he does get in that position, he feels like he can dominate it.
To get our feature fight started, Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for our feature fight of the night. Scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Presented to you by Lions Not Sheep Apparel. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner tonight, he wears blue. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. His official weight, 145.6 pounds. He holds an impressive combined combat sports record of 62 fights. And tonight makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, by way of Mohegan, Tajikistan. Here is Behzad Lion Usmanov. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight, he wears white trimmed in red and blue. He stands 5 feet 4 inches tall. His official weight, 145.9 pounds. He is a true MMA veteran of 28 fights and steps into the squared circle for the second time. Fighting out of Ramsey, New New Jersey, here is Jimmy El Terror Rivera. And our referee in charge of the action, Andrew Glenn.
Behzad Usmanov told us, I believe I will be faster than Jimmy Rivera, and I believe I can push a harder pace throughout round number 1. White trunks for Jimmy Rivera, blue trunks for the fighter from Tajikistan, Behzad Usmanov. To the body on the hook from Rivera, right to the body. Big shots from the half-tie plug from Jimmy Rivera on the overhand right.
Going right at it, right from the very beginning.
Usmanov coming forward. To the inside goes Jimmy Rivera. The hard underhook. Separation from Andrew Glenn, right back to it.
Not before a good body shot by Rivera.
These are two really fast 145-pounders. 1-2 from Rivera.
He's telegraphing them punches. Counter those.
Step in right hand from Usmanov, loading up the right hand.
Rivera doing a good job. He knows his opponent's going to use that forward pressure. He's just backing up and waiting for the right time to explode in.
Clinch overhook snatched by Rivera. Usmanov working from long. Naked 2. Turn on the body. Left hook on the exit from Rivera. 50 seconds remaining. Round number 1 of our feature fight. 145 pounds. Hook again. Separation right back to it again from Andrew Glenn. Keeping this fight moving. Round number 1. Rivera to the body. Counter right hook from Usmanov. Usmanov on the step-in jab. And hard punches on the entry from Behzad Usmanov.
Referee trying to let these guys fight their way out.
One of the many reasons why we're big Andy Glenn fans. Never over officiates. Not in MMA and not in BKFC.
Usmanov does come forward with a lot of forward pressure.
Left hook right hand. Usmanov still coming forward, walking through those Rivera punches. Slipped by Rivera on the overhook. That ends round number 1. Round number 2. Sporting touch of hands. There's a sportsmanship award in BKFC. I think Jimmy Rivera and Behzad Usmanov will tie for first place. Jab left to the body. Usmanov again coming forward. Usmanov has walked through some big punches of Rivera. Overhook now held by Usmanov. Rivera to the body in the active clinch.
I like it. Just let him go. Rivera landed a lot of good body shots in here.
The overhook. Now the separation. Ordered and received from Andrew Glenn. Duck under from Rivera. Big right hand, straight right hand again from Jimmy Rivera.
Even though more punches are thrown for Usmanov, there's like a much higher percentage and strike landing for Rivera.
Fighters, you see non-stop movement. Beautiful hand speed, beautiful footwork from both fighters. 50 seconds remaining, round number 2. On the jab. Right hand turn, snatching the overhook, Jimmy Rivera. And Rivera told us, Chris, once in, stay in. But that is very difficult against Behzad Usmanov, the way he continually moves.
So active in there and just really putting forward pressure. Makes it difficult right now. Good job by Rivera to counter some of those punches there.
The hand partially landed, partially on the shoulder of Usmanov. 20 seconds to go, round 2. Usmanov resetting, coming forward from the center circle. Hard on the feint with their right hand. Duck under, then the counter right hand on the turn from Usmanov. Very even fight to this point. Closing seconds, round number 2. Rivera to the body on the turn. We move to round 3. It's been the demeanor of Behzad Usmanov since he arrived in Omaha 3 days ago for this fight. Round number 3. Very jovial. On the feint, there on the 1-2. Jab from Jimmy Rivera. Usmanov's corner calling for the counter.
It's hard for him to counter when he's leading the entire time.
Overhand right from Rivera. Off the jab, 1-2. Body work here in round number 3 from Jimmy Rivera, just digging that left hook to the body. The over-under. There's the break from Andrew Glenn. 70 seconds remaining, round 3.
Both these guys make it so difficult to land a nice clean shot. Great defense.
Well, left resetting. This is with the overhand right. From Rivera. Rivera on the jab. Change. Now left to the body. Goes Besad Usmanov.
Break. Step back, gentlemen.
Return.
Go Russell. Here we go. Knuckle up.
Usmanov coming forward off the jab. From center ring, jab again from the fighter from Tajikistan, Besad Usmanov.
That right there was what Rivera needs to do. Throw combinations when you're out there with it. Body, head, body. Just a great job right there.
Hold his hand.
They're trying to time the entry smartly. There's the subplots of this fight to this point with 15 seconds remaining, round number 3. Usmanov literally running back to mid-range. A shot from Rivera. Left hook partially landed from Jimmy Rivera. Usmanov forward again. Rivera to the body. We move to round 4.
Guys, here we go. Round 4. Knuckle up.
Call of knuckle up from Andrew Glenn as we start round number 4. Starting round 4 with a jab. Hook jab to the body. Big right to the body again from Rivera.
Listen, he's taking what his opponent's giving. He's giving you body shots, take the body shots.
They're trying to explode off the ring ropes. Bridge once more. Usmanov again, running to the mid-range. Left hand, counter right hand to the body from Rivera.
You can just hear the corner of Usmanov saying you have to be active right now. But every time he tries to get active, Rivera counters very well.
Overhand left, right hook to the body, Jimmy Rivera. 2-1 from Usmanov. Usmanov to the body on the turn. Rivera 1-2. Fast straight body shots from Jimmy Rivera. 55 seconds remaining, round 4 of our feature fight.
And those level changes are hard to deal with. Rivera does that, and that body opens up.
Usmanov again coming forward. Under from Rivera. Right hand. Again from the mid-range, off the jab. Rivera hook jab.
It's been Usmanov's main punch is that jab. But it's very difficult to land this jab against Rivera. He needs to throw something else, some uppercuts, some twos.
Jimmy Rivera has been a very elusive target.
Great head movement.
Very good offensively. So many good body punches from Rivera. Overhand right from Besad Usmanov. Usmanov with the right hand on the turn from Rivera. That ends round number 4.
I mean, Rivera using angles, cutting corners right there, and firing back with punches. And he said his opponent's not giving him much, but what he is giving, he's taking. He's landing those body shots.
I think you went around, but they probably took it away from you, right? Because you got some damage.
Okay.
But it's nothing. You have 2 more minutes. We need to go after this guy. Smart. I want you to touch him. I don't want you hitting him full power and everything. Just touch. Okay? Touch.
Increase this. You have to stop throwing punches over his head. You're throwing them over his head. He's throwing all these body shots at you, and that's all that it's hitting you in. So why don't you lower your body shot? Lower yourself to the body. Hooks, jabs, uppercuts, whatever you can hit the body with. You hit the body and come up to the head at the same time, okay?
Yes, definitely.
All right? You got way more energy than he has. All right?
And a great job of the corner right there. Maybe a little too late right there. Usmanov's corner telling him to start throwing to the body. Rivera's so good with that head movement. You can't hit his head very much. You got to work the body. He can't move the body as well as he can the head.
Sporting touch of hands as we start the 5th and final round. Rivera, very slight cut inside of his right brow. Right to the body. 2. It's been excellent. 3 and 4 to the body here around number 5 for Jimmy Rivera.
And Rivera's just adapting out there, finding what's open, and he's taking it.
Under again from Rivera. And right back from Usmanov.
Give me a boot to the body.
Usmanov does a great job with pressure, though. Even if he's losing this fight, he's staying right in front of his opponent and pushing the pace the entire time.
Usmanov shuffling his feet, looking to reset. Usmanov has done a tremendous job holding mid-range, but he has not done a lot of Chris is land punches for mid-range.
And it's so hard right now against Rivera. He's ducking, he's sliding, he's coming back up with punches to the body.
Rivera now cut under his left eye. Rivera's been outstanding, landing to the body. Bezat Usmanov, as he does with the left hand on cue. Jab right back from Bezat Usmanov.
That's been his main punch. Usmanov is that jab right there. Like as the caller said, you need to start throwing to the body, throw some uppercuts. You need to move and do something a little bit different because you're losing this fight right now.
1-1-2 for Bezat Usmanov. Stretch drive of our feature fight. Overhand right, left hook from Rivera. Didn't fully land. Usmanov off the jab. To the mid-range. There's the 1-2 again from Rivera. Usmanov with the right hook on the inside. Overhand right hand from Jimmy Rivera. That is the end of the fight.
Beautiful fight for Rivera. Usmanov showed a lot of good things right there. I just think didn't quite have the experience here. I think after having one fight underneath his belt, you will go back, watch his tape, do much better his next fight. I mean, tons of respect for both these guys right here and with each other. Just look at that right there. That's what you want to see at the end of the fight.
Talked about the sportsmanship. Full display there. Both Jimmy Rivera and Bezat Usmanov. Bucked Up Energy Drink brings you our final strike stats.
You see a lot more punches being thrown for Usmanov, however, more landed for Rivera and a much higher percentage right there. And most of that was body work. I mean, you can see here, look at all the body work. That's crazy. Only 52 punches thrown, 25 landed to the head for Rivera, and he landed more punches. That's unbelievable body work we've seen right there. Once again, that's just smart fighting right there, Sean. He's taking whatever he's being given. If somebody's up top and they're throwing punches, they're throwing jabs right there, what is available? He's having great head movement. Just continue to work the body, take what he's giving you. Eventually, usually the hands will drop down, but Usmanov is just in great shape. He's tough. He didn't look like he got tired at all. But hey, take whatever he's giving you, win the fight that way, whatever it takes sometimes.
Jeff Houston is set. We go to him now.
Ladies and gentlemen, after completing the scheduled 5 rounds, our judges at ringside are all in agreement at 48-47 to the winner by unanimous decision, Jimmy El Terror Rivera.
Sean, I'm a little surprised by that score, but whatever. I mean, I think they got the right victor there. I thought Rivera looked fantastic, taking exactly what he was being given, body shots, and I thought he looked like a dominant performance in my opinion.
No knockdowns in this fight, so 48-47 means 3 rounds to 2 in favor of Jimmy Rivera from the 3 Nebraska judges. The fighter from Tajikistan, Bezat Usmanov, doing some good things in his BKFC debut, but Jimmy Rivera so strong to the body, controlling the range, so elusive defensively. The winner by way of unanimous decision, Jimmy Rivera defeats Bezat Usmanov.
One Welcome to the new BKFC app. Get monthly BKFC events for $7.99.
People that are missing it are missing out big time.
Enjoy our all-new library of content, including behind-the-scenes access, exclusive BKFC original series, and additional live bare knuckle fights from around the globe. Knuckle up with the new BKFC app, only $7.99 per month. Saturday, May 11th, get ready for a night of adrenaline-fueled action as Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship presents BKFC 61. In the main event, the always ready to fight Jimmy Altera Rivera collides with the always dangerous Daniel STRAUS, plus 10 other explosive bare knuckle fights featuring Sarah Click, the undefeated Royal Ryan REBER, Zach the Shark CALMUS, Chris SARRO, and many more bare knuckle warriors. Don't miss history in the making. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com.
To the bantamweight division we go. Our tale of the tape is presented by Mint 45 for Ryan REBER versus Derek PEREZ.
And you can see here, Sean, extremely even for the tail of the tape. 1 inch height advantage, exactly the same reach advantage. These two almost identical on paper.
This is bout number 4 in BKFC, bout number 5 overall in the sport of bare knuckle for Derek PEREZ. He's also had 1 bout in bare knuckle MMA, 13 in pro MMA, 27 in pro boxing. In our fighter meeting, PEREZ told us, I want to continually utilize heavy pressure. PEREZ said, high output is my key to victory.
Volume, Johnny talked about the volume. Why? Because it wears people down. He feels like he can get in their face, push them around, throw punches the entire time. That's making them tense. Even when he's not throwing punches, they're tense because they know it might come, and that wears them down.
Derek PEREZ said of his opponent in this bantamweight bout, Ryan REBER, I think he's going to try to be extremely technical. PEREZ said, I want to make this a rough and rugged fight. I do not want to allow REBER to settle into his rhythm. I think that he will start to fade by round 2 if we get that far due to my relentless pressure and pace.
Wants to push his opponent up against the ropes and then smother him. He feels like that pressure from the very beginning, the very first bell to the end of the fight.
Ryan REBER is set for fight number 5 in BKFC. He's also had 1 pro boxing match. REBER told us in our fighter meeting, I want to land power punches early to set the tone. I want to continually adapt throughout this fight, and I want to flow off of my jab.
Well, he knows he cannot let his opponent get in the clinch and use that pressure game. So what he wants to do, he wants to be very elusive out there. It feels like he's a faster fighter. He feels like his opponent's going to be much slower than him. He's got to use that speed to confuse and really frustrate his opponent.
Ryan REBER said of his opponent in this bout, Derek PEREZ, I think he's going to keep coming forward. I definitely respect his clinch. REBER said, I do not want to play in the clinch. I'll use quick exits. I want to use excellent technical boxing. I want to create space, and I want to be extremely elusive.
That's that elusiveness. He wants to use angles, and each time he does so, each time he avoids that hard shot, he wants to throw punches and make his opponent pay for coming forward.
Once again, Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for our next fight of the night, scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the bantamweight division, presented to you by Mint 45. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, tonight he wears black and silver. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. His official weight, an even 135 pounds. His BKFC record stands at 2 victories opposite a single defeat. Fighting out of Belen, New Mexico, here is Derek Rage PEREZ. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears pink and blue. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. His official weight, 136.1 pounds. He is undefeated in the squared circle at 4-0. Fighting out of Clearwater, Florida, by way of New London, Connecticut. Here is the undefeated Royal Ryan REBER. And our referee in charge of the action, Mike Beltran.
Ryan Reber said, I believe I'm much faster than Derek Perez. I'm going to slow him down with my power punches as I know that Perez will set a relentless pace. Round number 1. Forward off the scratch comes Derek Perez. He's in the black and silver trunks. Blue and pink trunks with his back against the ropes is Ryan Reber. Reber snatching the half-tie plum. Overhead right and another from Perez.
Sean, this is not where Reber wants to be. This is where Perez wants to be.
Short left uppercuts from Derek Perez from the half-tie plum. Big shots left hand. Down goes Ryan Reber.
2, 3. That was exactly what Perez wants to do. He wants to get into the pocket, get in your face, pull you down, and push you out, beat you up.
Mandatory 8 count to Reber from referee Mike Beltran. Round number 1 continues. 80 seconds remaining in the opening round. And a rapid-fire start for Derek Perez now coming forward.
The thing, though, with Perez, he has such a good chin. He lets you just punch him because he doesn't mind it. He feels like if I can trade with you, I'm going to win the fight.
More big shots from Derek Perez. Reber with his back against the ropes takes the left hand. Half-time plum again from Perez. Another big left hand. On the face wash. Another right hand.
This is all Perez's style right here. This is all his pace. This is exactly what he wants to do.
One-way traffic at the moment for Derek Perez. 45 seconds remaining round number 1. Reber trying to turn out.
This is the first real test we've seen from Reber. Let's see what he can do if he can pass his test. This is huge for him right here. This is a great fight for him to learn in.
Reber with the defensive clinch, the offensive clinch, half-tie plum, left hand uppercut. Perez continuing to throw. Now the right uppercut from Ryan Reber. Perez another left hand, left uppercut, left hook. Huge volume from Derek Perez here in round number 1.
Let's see if this pace right here is enough to just wear Reber out. If he's going to have anything left come round number 2.
There's the step-in right hand from Ryan Reber, but a huge opening round for Derek Perez. Dropping Reber here in the first round. Reber trying to throw back the bell. That is the end of round 1.
John, you could not ask for a better round for Perez right there. That's exactly what he wanted to do. Let's see if Reber can regroup after this round. He's never had a round like that. He's never tasted the canvas like this. Let's see if he's going to be able to come back after a round like that.
Don't let him grab you. Do not let him grab you.
This is not you. This is not you.
Don't let him grab you. He can't fight.
You need to double up on the jab, and you need to bring the right hand. You're being too preservative.
Stop.
Let me give you some instructions. Look, you need the jab, and you need to get out of the way,
and you can see right here, Perez just continues to land these little short punches right there. Something Reber is just not used to. Trying to back up a little one on the ground there.
Don't give him a hold. You're giving him too much hold.
And Perez just continues to pour it on. Like I said, this is his range. He wants to be in a phone booth. He wants to keep you from the full extensions of your punches. He doesn't care if he hits you really hard or really something, as long as he continues to hit you. Death by 1,000 cuts.
Call of knuckle up from Mike Beltran, one of the best pro MMA referees in the world. Incidentally, this is his BKFC debut. Welcome to Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, Mike Beltran. This is a fast sport, and these are 2 fast 135-pounders. Stepping left hand, a big right hand on the entry from Derek Perez.
Right back where Perez wants to be, right in his range. And look at those, I mean, unbelievable volume right there for Perez. Nothing unusual right there, exactly what we expected, but man.
Reber playing a lot of defense. Derek Perez playing all offense thus far in this fight. 80 seconds remaining round 2. Reber uppercut to the body. Rear right uppercut from Perez. Just missed the chin of Ryan Reber. Good refereeing from Beltran, keeping this fight flowing. Perez coming forward again. There's the left hand, right hand, long straight punches, but a counter right hand from Reber. Reber trying to land with his back against the ropes. Perez walking through these shots, but takes that left hand.
So we talked about the last fight. Royal Reber said he has to land that 1-2 at range. If he's not able to stay at range, it's hard for him to get that power in there.
Reber stepping in with the 1-2. Good slip. Now the turn. Perez short right hands from the modified waist cinch. You see the framing of Derek Perez. He has been outstanding to this point in the clinch. Driving pressure again from Derek Perez. Reber cut outside of his left brow. Separation again from Beltran. Final seconds, round number 2. Good step-in right hand from Ryan Reber, trying to pull himself back into this fight.
Reber throwing hard shots
Reber
right
lands
now.
the right hand. We move to round 3.
I mean, Reber throwing and landing some hard shots, but is it going to be enough? Is it the volume right now? So many more punches are being thrown and landed by PEREZ. Really wearing Reber down right now, but Reber does find time when he just stops, plants, and lands hard shots.
That is Derek Perez's wife, Brittany Horton. She's also a BKFC fighter in his corner.
And here's a great exchange, brother. You can just see the difference in power being thrown by Reber. However, doesn't seem to bother Perez. Just that volume, just keep coming forward with consistent punches, not as hard punches.
I need you to let your hands go. Stop this foolishness. I need you to double up, and I need the 4. He's open for it. Breathe. We're keeping as close as we can as that hole. You got to throw this thing.
I said Reber in a very difficult fight, something he has not faced yet.
Round number 3 underway. Ryan Reber down in round number 1. Still very much in this fight. An outstanding 2 rounds for Derek Perez. Perez coming to the inside. There's the left-hand counter right from Reber. This is where Perez has done his best work, driving pressure. Reber back against the ropes, the separation from Mike Beltran.
Reber just waiting to unload that right hand, throw it right down the pipe. He feels like he needs to land that shot. Good body work by Reber right there.
Look under from Reber. You see that trickle of blood, the cut outside of his left brow, which opened in the latter stages of round 2. Perez right back to the inside.
Problem right now, Perez is just pushing forward and wrapping up. He's not throwing punches in there like he was earlier.
Chris, go back to our fighter meeting. Perez said, I believe Reber will start to fade in round number 2 if it gets that far. Due to my relentless pace, we've now reached the halfway line of round number 3.
Like Perez is starting to tire a little bit. He's still throwing punches. Reber's starting to come back.
Ryan Reber exploding in as you see Perez cut outside of his right brow. To the insertion of the mouthpiece, Perez back in chest to chest. Both fighters cut. There's the step-in jab from Ryan Reber. Overhand right misses from Perez. Good jab from Reber. Reber with the big right hand. Back into the clinch. 25 seconds remaining, round number 3.
You just get a sense right now that Reber's really starting to feel it. He's getting his second win.
Reber on the entry left hook. Perez walked into that, and indeed he walked through it right back into the clinch. Chest to chest. Perez staying heavy thus far in the clinch. Perez now to the body. Straight right hand and another right hand from Reber on the jab from Perez just before the bell. We move to round 4.
This is a battle right here, Sean.
Here's what I'm seeing, son.
Both these guys are really laying it out there. Really impressed right now with what Ryan Reber's been able to do to withstand those first 2 rounds and come back. Look at that beautiful left hand he landed that knocked the mouthpiece out of Perez. Perez is tough as nails. You can hit him with everything. It doesn't seem to bother him at all.
I don't know what else you want to hear me say. I don't know what else you want me to say.
Knocking the mouthpiece out again. Just that mouth is wide open for Derek Perez. You can tell he's tired right now.
This thing is over. Get out there and let your goddamn hands go. I ain't playing with you, boy. Open your mouth. You better open up your hands. You understand that? We ain't down here for nothing. If you're not gonna listen to me, I don't need to get up here on this ankle. Get out there and let your hands go.
Very emphatic in the corner right there of Ryan Reber. His coaches are pleading with him to be more active with those hands. Because almost everything he's throwing, he's landing, Sean.
Medical timeout called by referee Mike Beltran. Awaiting the start of round number 4 will be the assessment of the cut in the right brow of Derek Perez.
Coach is done.
There's Dr. Don Muzi, Chief Medical Officer of BKFC. This fight will continue.
Hold the line.
The fighters up the stretch. Round number 4. Staying on the outside, trying to find the range. Perez looking for the entry. This is with the overhand right from the southpaw stance.
PEREZ is slowed down enough right there. He's kind of a target. This guy's about to say he's a target right now for REBER.
It was a big 1-2, especially on the 2 for REBER. Entry hook for Ryan REBER.
You talk about when REBER can stand at the end of his punches, that's when he's dangerous.
REBER on the left hook. PEREZ waves him forward.
Waving him forward. You cannot take too many more of those shots. He's a bloody mess right now, Sean.
Long jab from Ryan REBER.
REBER's really starting to find his range.
REBER step in right hand. Counter right hand from PEREZ. REBER coming forward from the center circle off the fast jab.
And this is where REBER's talking about. He really shows that he's faster than his opponent right now. PEREZ looks a little tired, so these punches are just coming easily for him.
See the fast 1-2s of Ryan REBER. Big right hand left hook from REBER. Left hand again. More big shot from REBER. Taking a really close look. There's the finish and the top from behind win for Ryan REBER.
Unbelievable job for REBER, Sean. That was the best performance in my opinion. Really proved a lot to me and probably to himself right there. It's been easy so far. He walked through everybody at a tough time against Travis Thompson, but he's a tough guy to fight against any opponent right there. So that was just a great fight for REBER.
See the other guy.
Man.
God damn.
Look at REBER. You can tell his corner really got into that fight at the end of the fight right there. That last round, he really yelled at him. He really let it go. You have to let your hands go. He listened, and look what happened. Look at the results. Look at that beautiful 1-2. Every time he threw that 2 and it landed right at the end of his punch, it did damage. And once he smelled blood, once he knew that PEREZ was not going to throw back, he just unloaded on his opponent, Sean, and made the referee stop. If you're standing there, if it's one-sided, if you're not throwing back, they are going to stop it.
Ryan REBER talked to us in our fighter meeting about his hand speed, which he felt was vastly superior to Derek PEREZ. His hand speed shone through in round number 3, and especially Chris in round number 4 to the finish. Our final strike stats for this phenomenal bantamweight bout presented by Pucked Up Energy.
And you can see so many more punches thrown and landed right there for Derek PEREZ. However, it was the power punches that did it. It was the punches from Ryan REBER, the power, and you can just see, look at that last round. Almost 4-to-1 punches thrown, a lot more even that land. Look at that percentage right there for REBER. He felt like once PEREZ slowed down, all he had to do was unload. His corner told him that. They were 100% correct.
This is just our second card of the year for BKFC, and that is an early fight of the year candidate. Well done from Ryan REBER and Derek PEREZ. And Ryan REBER now 5-0 in BKFC. Here's Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Mike Beltran, steps in and calls a stop to this fight at 1 minute 14 seconds into round number 4. For your winner by TKO and still undefeated, Royal Ryan REBER.
And Sean, a lot of people did not know if he was ready to go to the next level. That fight right there proves that he is, in my opinion. He dealt with adversity and he passed with flying colors.
Ryan REBER knocked down in round number 1 off the canvas to record the finish in round number 4. Phenomenal fight from both men. The winner by way of 4th round TKO, Ryan REBER defeats Derek PEREZ.
Welcome to the new BKFC app. Get monthly BKFC events for $7.99.
People that are missing it are missing out big time.
Enjoy our all-new library of content, including behind-the-scenes access, exclusive BKFC original series, and additional live bare knuckle fights from around the globe. Knuckle up with the new BKFC app, only $7.99 per month. Saturday, May 11th, get ready for a night of adrenaline-fueled action as Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship presents BKFC 61. In the main event, the always ready to fight Jimmy Altera Rivera collides with the always dangerous Daniel STRAUS. Plus 10 other explosive bare knuckle fights featuring Sarah Click, the undefeated Royal Ryan REBER, Zach the Shark CALMUS, Chris SARRO, and many more bare knuckle warriors. Don't miss history in the making. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com.
In the heavyweight division, Zach CALMUS versus Josh Freeman. The numbers presented by OnlyFans.
And you can see here, Sean, very similar, 1 inch height difference, 2 inch reach. Not that big of a deal for heavyweights. Maybe the fist size. CALMUS has a bigger fist, can land more surface area. This should be a great fight between these two heavyweights.
The short rip and the entrance for Zach CALMUS, set for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship bout number 5. CALMUS 1-0 in pro boxing, and we give him the award, although there's not a real award, we give him the sort of award for quote of the week in our fighter meeting. Zach CALMUS, who's always quotable, said in this bout, I want to throw my jab like Floyd Mayweather, and I want to throw my power punches like George Foreman.
Good idea if you can do it, but this guy, he's not even caring if he gives away the early rounds. He knows that might be the case. He wants to continue to push that pace so he dominates the later part of the fight. That's when he goes for his finish.
CALMUS said he wants to use his Floyd Mayweather-like jab to be measured, be technical. CALMUS said, make no mistake, I'm willing to lose the first 2 rounds tactically to turn up the pressure and then open up in round number 3.
He knows he always has to be using head movement, good footwork, even hand movement to deflect and to keep his opponent at bay.
One of the biggest personalities in all of BKFC, Zach CALMUS.
Come on.
It's important for him to keep that head right off the center line, so he's not an easy target for that powerful punch coming from Josh Freeman.
We go to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for our feature fight of the night. Scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the heavyweight division. Presented to you by OnlyFans. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he wears black. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall. His official weight, 260.6 pounds. He holds a combined combat sports record of 6 fights, and tonight makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Washington, D.C., by way of Sterling, Virginia, here is Josh the Predator And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears red. He stands at even 6 feet tall. His official weight, 255.6 pounds. His BKFC record stands at 2 victories opposite 2 defeats. Fighting out of Gloucester, Massachusetts, here is Zach Sharkata. Referee in charge of the action, Andrew Glenn.
Zach CALMUS was emphatic that he would be very measured in the opening 2 rounds. Josh Freeman, though, told us, I expect a rapid-fire start off from scratch for Zach CALMUS. That's why I have to throw stiff jabs, throw clean 1-2s. White stance for both men. Up to scratch, sporting touch of hands. Round number 1. Feature fight underway. We're in the heavyweight division. Red trunks for Zach CALMUS, black trunks for Josh Freeman.
Josh Freeman doing just what he said, keeping his back right in the center.
There is the measured start from Zach CALMUS. Coming forward, back right, handbag swings from Josh Freeman. Counter with his back against the ropes, Zach CALMUS.
He's got to create a little bit more distance when his opponent is against the ropes, just standing there. He's smothering his own punches right now.
It was a smart angle by Zach CALMUS to get that clinch separation from Andrew Glenn. Rapid evolution of bare knuckle fighting, Chris. We didn't see that in the sport 4 years ago, that defensive punch to get the break.
People were getting in and wasting a lot of energy.
For Freeman. Hard to the inside from the off-top corner goes Josh Freeman. To the body, Freeman. Short pass to the body in return for CALMUS. Stiff right hand to the head from Freeman. Big referee from Andrew Glenn. Both fighters in the active clinch. Both fighters throwing. And the separation right back to it. 45 seconds remaining, round number 1. Wide open striking guard for CALMUS.
doing just what he said, though, Sean. He's kind of almost giving away these rounds. He's not pushing forward like most people expect.
Left hand, right hand to the body. Big uppercuts now for Josh Freeman. Carrying off the ropes is Zach CALMUS. From Freeman draws the separation from referee Andrew Glenn. Taking a backward step, looking to counter as Freeman as CALMUS comes forward. Driving pressure now from CALMUS is back against the ring ropes. Sporting touch of hands, final seconds, round number 1. The bell, we move to round 2.
And right towards the end of that round, CALMUS did a better job of coming forward. Let's see if he continues to do that in the second round. If he puts forward and really puts some pressure on his opponent and really trying to wear Freeman out.
You see BKFC fighter Blake Lacaz in the corner of Zach CALMUS.
Once again, that is the evolution right there that you're talking about for Zach CALMUS. So just come forward the entire time. Push the pace, looking to try and be a little bit smarter, take a little less damage, maybe. No, he's coming forward now. This is what we've expected from the entire time.
That's done from STRAUS to start round number 2, Zach CALMUS. Now moving forward comes Josh Freeman. Freeman heavy in the half-tie, pulling the single collar tie into the body with the right hand goes Freeman.
Stop.
Over the head in the head chancery position. That draws the break from Andrew Glenn. Hands high and tight for CALMUS. The striking guard much more open in round number 1. Driving pressure again with the front right shoulder is Josh Freeman. Freeman chest to chest. Reminiscent of Kazuchi Sakuraba. The short punches to the head from Zach CALMUS.
Good body
Get that reference. You're a good friend of Chris.
Great punch right there by CALMUS to the body.
On the right hand, chest to chest again goes Josh Freeman. Side headlock position, immediate separation. Issued and received from referee Andrew Glenn. 55 seconds remaining around number 2.
This fight, in a way, is turning into a Zach CALMUS type of fight. Inside, grinding, pushing. We know he can go that pace. We are not sure if Freeman can.
CALMUS talking to Freeman. With a sporting touch of hands. I believe CALMUS was saying he got his fingers tangled in Freeman's hair and he apologized. Freeman driving forward again, short right hand. Sportsmanship continuing. It's almost sparring-like. Hard exchange, touch of hands. I don't think Zach CALMUS could ever do that. He's always jovial. Good body work by CALMUS to the body. Very good body work, but a big punch to the head from Josh Freeman. Punch after the bell, no complaint from CALMUS. He rewards that late punch with a high 5. We move to round 3.
You can just see the way Zach CALMUS, he's loading up and throwing punches to get into the entry, throwing these wide hooks. Freeman's got to do a better job of countering right there. As soon as he sees that CALMUS loading up, he's got to throw it straight right down the pipe, beat him with the punch. Don't wait and then counter after this guy's throwing a hard shot to your body. Beat him with the punch. You can see the corner right now. CALMUS has got it right there. Great coach. Solid in the middle, just telling his opponent, throw his uppercut, work the body inside. Get in the position where you're throwing this wide punch on the side, throw it right in the middle. Right that blood back, that's what really hurts.
In our final meeting, Zach CALMUS emphatic that if this fight went to round number 3, this is the moment that he would noticeably turn up the intensity. To round number 3 we go. He's missing on the right hand. To the body, to the inside. Big right hand from CALMUS. Chest to chest again goes Josh Freeman. CALMUS is back against the ring ropes. Short lefts and rights. Typically in a heavyweight fight, Chris, fighters' striking guards get lower and lower. For CALMUS, his striking guard is getting higher and higher. It was low and open in round number 1. It's high and tight here in round 3.
This is what I like to see Freeman trying to get off first.
Right hand on the entry from Zach CALMUS. Counter right hand, short rights to the head from Freeman, short rights to the body from CALMUS. Both fighters holding that half-time mark. The body lock to turn, Andrew Glenn keeping his heavyweight fight moving. 5 remaining round 3. Getting the touch of hands. See the big exits from Freeman and a big right hand at Freeman's body landed by Zach CALMUS.
Freeman doing a good job of pushing CALMUS into the ropes, but is that enough? Because it seems like CALMUS is landing the harder punches right now.
On the 1-2 from CALMUS, counter right hand from Freeman. CALMUS again to the body and the underhook dug in from Josh Freeman.
You can tell Freeman exhausted right now. He's just pushing his opponent into the ropes, but not really throwing much with it.
CALMUS told us he felt that his cardio was on point entering this fight. That's why he felt so confident. If the fight got to round number 3, he could really take over. 15 seconds remaining in the 3rd round. Good stiff left on the right hook from CALMUS. From Freeman on the right hand. CALMUS shaking his head no. Playing to this pro Josh Freeman crowd. Now the finger whack from Zach CALMUS.
You don't see that too often, Sean.
Next stop, round 4.
Took the best punch of the fight right there from Freeman and just laughed it off. That's that chin that Zach CALMUS believes that he has that wins him fights. Watch this. A good straight left. A good right. Uppercut attempt was continuing to come forward. Another good jab. Another good two. And Zach just puts his hands up and says, "Don't, didn't hurt me at all." That is frustrating, Sean. When you hit somebody with your best shot and they just laugh at you, that's a problem.
We know that's coming.
And that might have been enough to get that round for Freeman right there. But you cannot continue. You can't continue to just let people punch you and laugh it off. The judges still see that as you're losing. So let's see if right now Zach can really step up the pace.
Andrew Glenn hurrying Josh Freeman up to scratch. You see the delay in Josh Freeman's corner. Freeman now talking to Glenn.
Looks like he has a problem with that right hand. This fight might be over.
This fight is over! Victory for Zach CALMUS.
Winning by pushing right there because, man, he was eating some punches right there, especially at the end of that fight. It must have been enough to hurt the hand of Freeman. You got to be disappointed for him, but man.
Josh Freeman certainly seems to be indicating the issue is with his right hand. And Zach CALMUS gets his 3rd victory in BKFC. CALMUS told us, Chris, I can lose rounds 1 and 2. I believe in my cardio. I believe in my technique. I believe in my strategy. I can take over this fight in round 3.
I mean, to me, he did a good job of doing so. I felt like he might have gave the round up at the end, taking 4 hard shots. He laughed it off. That did a great job of letting him know that it didn't hurt, but who knows how the judges saw that. But anyway, man, he just did a great job of continuing to fight, pushing his pace. I think he wore his opponent down, hurt his hand.
Hey, you did good.
When Josh Freeman did not come up to scratch, Andrew Glenn said, "Get up to scratch." Freeman hesitated. Clearly, there was an issue.
And Sean, a lot of people, when they get that hand hurt, they start panicking. What do I do? How can I continue to fight with one hand? You really can't in this sport, Sean. If you're that hurt, if you can't throw that right hand, you're going to be a sitting target right there, and eventually you're going to get knocked out.
We go to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Andrew Glenn, steps in and calls a stop to this fight at the conclusion of round number 3. For your winner by TKO, Zach Shark Attack CALMUS!
The late count Count of Monte Fisto. Carl Weathers would be proud of that performance from Zach CALMUS. Josh Freeman in his BKFC debut certainly had his moments, indicated he could not continue an issue with his right hand, and that is a next level win for Zach CALMUS. Victorious by way of third round TKO due to injury, Zach CALMUS defeats Josh Freeman.
Welcome to the new BKFC app. Get monthly BKFC events for $7.99.
People that are missing it are missing out big time.
Enjoy our all-new library of content, including behind-the-scenes access, exclusive BKFC original series, and additional live bare knuckle fights from around the globe. Knuckle up with the new BKFC app, only $7.99 per month. Saturday, May 11th, get ready for a night of adrenaline-fueled action as Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship presents BKFC 61. In the main event, the always ready to fight Jimmy Altera Rivera collides with the always dangerous Daniel STRAUS, plus 10 other explosive bare knuckle fights featuring Sarah Click, the undefeated Royal Ryan REBER, Zach the Shark CALMUS, Chris SARRO, and many more bare knuckle warriors. Don't miss history in the making. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com.
Championship is presented by Bucked Up Energy Drink. Welcome to Connecticut and the world-famous Mohegan Sun Casino and Resort. From Springsteen to Jay-Z to Billy Joel, the biggest acts in the world play here. But tonight, it's a show like no other. The baddest show on the planet, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. And we will get things started with the preview. These three fights just might steal the show. It happened before. Could happen again, so watch out for those first three fights. And in our co-main event, we'll see the debut of an MMA standout, New Jersey's Mike Trizano. But we haven't rolled out the welcome wagon. Instead, you'll see Trizano go toe-to-toe with former title challenger, Louis Lopez. And in our main event is New Jersey's El Terrible, Jimmy Rivera, looking to keep climbing the ladder in the lightweight division to no less than a championship. But Daniel Strauss is a proven world champion in MMA, and after an impressive debut, he looks to knock off his first opponent in the BKFC tonight. And welcome to the magnificent Mohegan Sun Arena here at the Mohegan Sun Casino and Resort in Connecticut. We are making our debut here at the Mohegan Sun, making our debut in Connecticut, so you know we're bringing out the big guns, and we are here to impress. We always make a good first impression. And speaking of incredible events, we are still reeling after Knucklemania 4, the blockbuster event from the Peacock Theater. And of course, the stars were all out in attendance, actors, athletes, influencers, a stirred up crowd experiencing BKFC for the very first time. That's Crystal Pittman and our lone female fight, decimating Sydney Smith. And folks, the California girl looked so good, on point. Who knows what's in the future there for the rugged beauty. One of the best fights that's ever happened in the squared circle. Jeremiah Riggs welcoming Alfredo Angulo to the BKFC. And it looked like Riggs was on his way, and then he got struck with that big right hand from Alfredo Angulo, victorious at Knucklemania 4. And of course, everybody was talking about this. Mike Perry and Thiago Alves, both undefeated. Mike Perry just continues to get better and better. As you can see, the left hand drops Alves and sends Thiago Pitbull Alves into retirement. Platinum Mike Perry on the biggest stage just gets better and better and better. Mike Perry, who knows what's next for the King of Violence? Whatever it's going to be, you know it's going to be good. Speaking of good, let's talk about BKFC 62. That's going to be in Hollywood, Florida on June 21st. And we're going big for this one. 3 title fights. The featherweight, the bantamweight, and the light heavyweight championship are all on the line. June 21st, BKFC 62. Now, we showed you the highlights from Knucklemania 4, but they don't really do it justice, folks. If you want to watch Knucklemania 4, it's always exclusive right on the BKFC app. Now, let's bring in Sean Willock and Chris Lido. Guys, we were there. We felt it. There was so much hype, but I believe we exceeded our expectations, Sean, at Knucklemania 4.
Fully agreed, Cyrus. Our California debut for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship sold out in downtown Los Angeles at Peacock Theater. I believe right now it is the fight of the year across all combat sports. Angulo versus Riggs, and Mike Perry now 5-0 in BKFC.
And remember, if you want to see all the action unfold, all you have to do is check it out on the BKFC app. That's the exclusive home for Knucklemania 4 and all of our great events. Now, we are in one of the biggest and best fight venues in the country. Chris, you have fought here before multiple times. What's it going to be like for our main event tonight? Jimmy Rivera, Daniel Strauss. We got a great main event.
First of all, the crowd here, always fantastic. Highly educated, highly entertainable. Just very excited to be here. Loving fight sports. They just love being here. So this main event is going to be a fantastic fight. Both very highly skilled guys. Both go about it different ways, but 2 of the highest level guys we have. Can't wait to watch this fight. It's going to be a barn burner. I'm not sure who's going to win, but it's going to be a fun one.
Well, Chris, you are a resident gambling expert here. So when you take a look at the odds that they've given to us here, what sticks out? What's a good bet to make if you're out there putting a little skin in the game?
I mean, Cyrus, you make it sound like I'm a degenerate gambler. I'm not, but I do like to pay attention. A lot of them, good fights out there. The one that jumps out at me is the newcomer, Natalie Gage. I'm familiar with her. I've seen her fight many times. I think she's a very good bet.
If you want to put it down, go to Kurgo and make that happen. Let's take a look at the rules for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. All fights scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds, scored on 3 judges on the 10-point must system. Hand wraps must be at least 1 inch below the bare knuckles. Punching in the clinch is allowed, but what is not allowed, no kicks, knees, elbows, takedowns, or submissions. And let's go to our first Tell the Tape, brought to you by Bucked Up.
We open tonight in the featherweight division. Dylan FELION versus Dan Pettit.
Sean, both these guys extremely tall for this weight class at 145, 6'3" and 6'1". FELION does also have a 3-inch reach advantage he's going to utilize.
This is the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship debut for Dan Pettit. Overall, outside of this promotion, he has had 1 bare knuckle bout. In our fighter meeting, Pettit told us that he watched BKFC 1 and decided on that evening, June 2nd, 2018, I want to be a bare knuckle fighter and I want to do so in BKFC.
That excites me, Sean. I love hearing that people don't want to be boxing. They don't want to be MMA. They want to be bare knuckle. He saw the first one. He saw the exact same thing I did. This is the best sport out there, and he decided to go for it.
Pettit also told us, I want to be very heavy on my opponent, Dylan FELION's neck in the clinch. I want to utilize smart entries with my head movement and my footwork, and I want to target the body of Dylan FELION.
Knows how tall his opponent is, has to work to get inside. Use jabs, straights, a lot of head movement. He's got to watch out for that long jab, and he's got to work to get inside to land those combinations.
Pettit 6'1" to FELION 6'3". Pettit said, I cannot allow FELION to control at range. I think he's going to try to stay long, work off of the jab. I have to get to the inside and do so quickly.
And when he gets inside, the thing that's going to be open, that body. You have a very tall individual, and FELION, he wants to get in there, work that body, land hard shots, slow his opponent down, and then go for the knockout.
Dylan FELION now set for his BKFC debut. FELION 1-0 in pro boxing, 8-2 in AMI MMA. In our fighter meeting, FELION said, I'm, quote, a crafty fighter. He said, I want to be creative and I want to be entertaining, but I also want to be smart. I'm not going to allow Dan Pettit to pull me into a brawl.
You touched on it, Sean. He feels he's a showman, wants to put on a show. Knows he's tall, knows he's long, wants to utilize that reach. Feels like he always sees openings from his opponent because he has a very high fight IQ.
FELION said, I definitely do not have big power. I know that, but I have built my style around my skill set, and I believe that that is accuracy. I believe I'm an extremely precise fighter.
Knows what his fighter is good at, knows what his opponent's good at, knows his opponent's going to get inside, try and land hard punches, hard combinations inside. It's up to him to stop that from happening. If he uses his reach, he uses those jabs, he stays long, he's going to make his opponent take each time he tries to step close.
FELION said, I'm going to fully utilize my reach advantage. I'm going to stay long, and I'm going to pick apart Dan Pettit from the outside.
High fight IQ, that's what this is all about.
Our debut at the spectacular Mohegan Sun. To get our evening started, we send it to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you one and all to the Mohegan Sun Arena for the very first bare knuckle fighting event in Connecticut State history. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to BKFC 61. BKFC for review begins tonight with 5 2-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Presented to you by Bucked Up Energy Drink. Get bucked up. Introducing you first. Fighting out of the red corner, tonight he wears white. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall. His official weight, 144.7 pounds. Tonight, he makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Manchester, Connecticut, by way of Lake Elsinore, California. Here is Dan the Tower Dog Pettit. Across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears blue. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall. His official weight, an even 146 pounds. He holds an undefeated pro boxing record at 1-0, and tonight makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Rutland, Vermont, here is Dylan, the Afro Samurai, FELION! And our referee in charge of the action, Big Dan Mergliata.
Dan Pettit told us, I believe I'm fast, I believe I'm explosive. I'm going to get to the inside quickly off of scratch. Both fighters up to scratch. Round number 1. Rapid fire start for Dan Pettit. He's in the white trunks, and down goes Dylan FELION. He's in the blue trunks. Ruled to slip immediately by referee Dan Mergliata. Right back to it.
And Pettit just coming with reckless abandonment right now, coming straight forward.
This now is the range that FELION told us he wants. Good duck under from Pettit. High tight striking guard. Pettit coming forward from southpaw. There's the long jab from ortho. Big right hand to the inside. More big shots. There's the underhook. Separation from Dan Mergliata. Right back to it.
Pettit using a lot of energy.
Your right uppercut just misses from FELION.
Pettit has got to slow it down a little bit. He can't waste all that energy. If he does, he's going to tire out.
See the big swings of Dan Pettit. There's the long jab of FELION on the right hand. After left hand. And that is a clean knockdown. There's the mandatory A count given to FELION from Dan Mergliata. Right back to it. Nearly running into that right hand was Dan Pettit. There's the jab left hand. 50 seconds remaining, round number 1. More big swings. That's a slip from Pettit off the canvas. He keeps going and takes the right hand from FELION. Chris, both fighters going all out here in the opening round. Both men in their BKFC debut.
They're both just winging punches, and that's going to wear them out.
Knockdown number 2. That is ruled a slip.
They called that a slip. I think it was a knockdown, Sean.
So instead of knockdown number 2, slip number 2. We fight on here in round number 1. But Pettit has recorded a clean knockdown. Pettit coming forward again.
FELION backpedaling the entire time, just waiting to throw these wild uppercuts.
There's the 10-second clack. Good duck under. Overhand right. Just misses from Pettit. The left hand. Big right hand. Back to the inside goes Dan Pettit. Both fighters in the center circle. Jab from FELION. There is the bell. Next stop, round 2.
That was just an incredibly wild round, Sean. Both guys throwing awkward punches, very off balance. They were too excited. That's exactly what that was about. These guys are better fighters than that. They just were too wild and wanted to hurt the other guy too much. This is when the fight's going to start, in the second round. They're going to slow down the pace a little bit, settle in a little bit more, and see who really has more skill. Pettit spent a lot of energy right there. He might wear himself out if he doesn't really slow the pace down. And you can see overhand right. This was a knockdown from FELION. And you can see right there, FELION acknowledged, got knocked down, but he wasn't hurt. Wild miss.
That was ruled a slip by Dan Mergliata.
Yeah, I thought it was a cleaner punch. I thought it was a punch to the body. It looks like it wasn't much of a punch at all. From this angle, it looked like it, but these guys are just so off balance because they're trying to hit so hard. They need to get their feet underneath it when they throw a punch.
Round number 2, as he did to start round number 1. Exploding off from scratches, Dan Pettit. Pettit right hand, big left hand. That sends FELION against the ropes. FELION circling out.
FELION not even circling out, he's running.
FELION missing with the right hand. We'll see how that is ruled by Mergliata. That is ruled as the 3rd slip of this fight. Looked to be a push by Pettit.
More of a shoulder check.
Left hand not getting through from FELION.
FELION is throwing these wide hooks, and these are turtles into uppercuts just like that.
Huge swings with the rear right hand from FELION, but well read from Pettit again. Guillotine position, that draws the separation from Dan Mergliata. 80 seconds remaining, round number 2. Overhand right misses the mark from Pettit.
Pettit needs to step closer before he starts throwing those punches.
Driving pressure. That's the 5th time that FELION's been on the canvas. The 4th time ruled a slip by Dan Mergliata.
He's going to get tired just from standing up.
Overhand right, that landed cleanly from Pettit. On the full back pedal, FELION. 1 minute remaining, round number 2. Hook jab from FELION on his back foot. There's the rear right hand.
Every time FELION's throwing these jabs or punches, he's dropping his hands.
Overhand right again, that left hand.
think.
Up at 8 is Dylan FELION. FELION showing his heart. Both hands down. That is a slip. More big right hand. Seeing the finish line, trying to reach it is Dan Pettit, but FELION lands the right hand.
FELION doesn't look hurt from these situations. He's getting knocked down, but he hasn't shown a lot of his legs not being there. He does hit the ground once again, though.
That's a push down. Clearly a slip. But 2 knockdowns. One in round 1, one in round 2. Both recorded by Dan Pettit. FELION with the right hand. Still in this fight. Still throwing big, as is Dan Pettit. Overhand right. Right hand, the bell. We move to round 3.
Sean, I stand corrected. I said this is when the fight slows down. This is when they settle in. It didn't happen that round. They continued to fight just like they did the first round. Both these guys are still extremely wild. Whoever can settle down, whoever can slow the pace and pick some shots is going to win the fight. FELION right now, every time he throws a punch, he drops both hands. So if he's throwing his right hand, it's out of position. The left hand is right there at his waist. He's easy to counter. Pettit is just swinging with reckless abandonment from far away, missing shots, and he's out of position as well. Whoever can settle in, wait, and counter clean is probably going to get a knockdown. And here is the second knockdown. Nice punch landed, but the main thing is FELION had his head straight up without the hands blocking. That's an easy shot. All you have to do is touch the guy. His hands are nowhere around to block it. You can't put yourself in a position where you're not defensive in this sport.
We've had 5 slips from Dan FELION, as ruled by Dan Miragliotta. 2 knockdowns, 1 in round 1, 1 in round 2. Presumably back-to-back 10-8 rounds for Dan Pettit as we start round number 3. There's the right hand, left hand. Big shots, and that's ruled a knockdown. Miragliotta is saying that FELION was supported by the second to bottom rope, and here's the mandatory 8.
Very accurate with that.
So that's the 3rd knockdown of this fight. There's the right hand. FELION staying on his bike, relentless closing pressure. Pettit, big right hand knockdown number 4. That is the fight, and that is the win for Dan Pettit.
Just kept coming with hard punches the entire time. Did not care what his opponent was doing. FELION never really stopped and planted and came back with that right hand.
Just get on the bench here.
Just continued to throw with reckless abandonment. Did Pettit until he landed the knockout punch. He's going to go back and watch this, understand he has power, understand if he hits, he can't hurt you, but he's going to have to calm that down a little bit for his next fight.
Dylan FELION told us he wanted to be creative, he wanted to be entertaining, he just didn't want to brawl. That's definitely 2 out of 3, but FELION still showed some good things in his BKFC debut, and Dan Pettit, Chris, showed some really good things in his BKFC debut, most notably that relentless pressure.
A lot of very significant pressure. He is going to have to tone that down a little bit because he did leave himself open a lot, but there was a lot of positives there. If he goes back, watches tape, and goes back to the gym and understands he's got to pull it back a little bit, he's going to be all right.
4 knockdowns to the finish recorded by Dan Pettit. 1 knockdown apiece, rounds 1 and 2, and then 2 knockdowns in round 3. That second round 3 knockdown, the 4th of the fight, no count from Dan Miragliotta. He ruled that the end of this fight had been reached, and that is a strong performance by Dan Pettit here in his home state of Connecticut, and this his BKFC debut. We go to Jeff Houston.
Fuck yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Big Dan Miragliotta, steps in and calls a stop to this fight at 36 seconds into round number 3. For your winner by TKO, Dan the Tower Dog Pettit.
Good educational fight for Pettit. Has learned a lot there. I believe he's learned he's going to have to pull something off, but when he wants to, when he lands with power, he can do some damage.
Dylan FELION was game. Dan Pettit was explosive, and he landed with power from the mid-range and in the pocket. 4 knockdowns to the finish. The winner by way of 3rd round TKO. Dan Pettit defeats Dylan FELION.
Friday, May 17th, the world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, is back. In the main event, a man who's been tearing through the competition, the undefeated Carlos Trinidad Snake, fights his toughest opponent to date, the battle-hardened warrior who hasn't tasted defeat since 2021, Dustin the Disciple Peg. In the co-main event, watch the ferocious Dakota Cochran as he aims to keep his win streak alive when he knuckles up with the relentless Jamie Hit'em Holloway. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com. Friday, May 31st, the world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, is back with another explosive night of fights. In the main event, Keegan Vandermeer tries to get back to his winning ways when he scraps with a powerhouse who hasn't lost a fight in 2 years, Sawyer DP. In the co-main event, two unbeaten titans collide, but only one can emerge victorious as Andrew Strode knuckles up with Dom the Bomb Carey. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com.
To the middleweight division we go. Our tale of the tape is presented by OnlyFans for Pat Casey versus Sam Watford.
There we go. You can see significant height, 3 inches for Watford, as well as a 6-inch reach advantage. He knows Pat Casey wants to get inside, land powerful shots. It's up to Watford and stay long, stay moving, and stay away from that power of Pat Casey.
Sam Watford now set for his BKFC debut. Watford has had 12 pro MMA bouts, including July of last year when he defeated his opponent in his BKFC debut, Pat Casey, by way of unanimous decision. Watford told us in our fighter meeting from that pro MMA win versus Pat Casey last July, he said, I recognize that Casey has good punching power, but I know fully that I am much faster than Pat Casey.
Watford said he dominated the fight in the stand-up department. Feels like all he has to do is get in, land combinations, wait for his opponent to be aggressive, and counter it.
Sam Watford said in training for his BKFC debut, he is focused in the gym on smart and explosive starts off of scratch. Chris, we do fighter meetings with every single fighter on every single bout, every single card. It's the first time we've ever heard that.
For sure. Sam said he does want to make sure he doesn't work the clinch very much, but if his opponent gets in there, tries to work the clinch, because he's going to be doing so much better on his feet, he really wants to work the body before he exits.
Watford also said, I'm going to be throwing combinations, I'm going to be aggressive, but I'm also going to be sound defensively. When we asked him, what is your key to victory? Watford said, quote, viciousness. He really dislikes Pat Casey.
A lot of bad blood. You think usually when people fight, that's over. Not in this situation. There was a lot of talk after the fight.
This is bout number 2 in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship for Pat Casey. He has had 19 pro MMA bouts. Of that pro mixed martial arts bout versus Sam Watford, which he lost by unanimous decision July of last year, Casey said, I definitely won that fight. When we asked him in our fighter meeting, are you extra motivated to get the win back? He said, no, because I definitely felt that I won. He said, I had the better of the striking. Watford just was unable to finish me, but he controlled me on the ground. In this, our rematch, but now in the sport of BKFC, in the sport of bare knuckle fighting, I'm going to fight in explosive spurts. Chris Casey said, I felt that I did not pace myself properly when we fought in MMA.
Funny how people can see the same fight very differently. Like you said, Casey wants to control the pace better, straighter punches, wants to sit down and throw with more power this time.
Once again, Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for the next fight of the night. Scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Presented to you by OnlyFans. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he wears blue and white. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall. His official weight, 172.7 pounds. He is an MMA veteran of 12 fights and tonight makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Bridgeport, Connecticut, is Sam Super Saiyan Watford. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears black and white. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. His official weight, 175.7 pounds. Tonight, he toes the line for the second time. Fighting out of Springfield, Massachusetts, is Pat the Gorilla Ninja Casey. And our referee in charge of the action, Big Dan Murgliata.
Pat Casey told us, ideally, I would like to get into the pocket and trade with Sam Watford. In that situation, I believe Casey said, I will definitely have the advantage. The bell, round number 1. Blue trunks for Sam Watford, forward off the jab, on his back foot, missing with the overhand right. Pat Casey in the black and white trunks. Casey feigning with the right hand, high tight striking guard. Casey to the body on the 1-2.
The Philly shell for Watford.
Philly shell indeed for Sam Watford. Heavy front shoulder from southpaw. There's the long right jab. Casey looking for the entry, miss with the right hand.
Watford really felt like his opponent's going to come out and try and do a lot of hard work in the first minute to 2 minutes. After that, he slows down considerably.
The fighters resetting in the center circle. 125 remaining, round number 1. We are in the middleweight division. There's the right hand, didn't fully get through from Casey.
Acknowledged by Watford, I should say.
Double jab from Watford. See the hard parry from Casey. Big swings from Casey, resetting on the outside. Watford now coming forward once more. Watford to the body. Casey just missing with that upright hand.
I really like how relaxed Watford is, just getting out of the way, just at inches away.
There's the right hand combination on the inside. Casey on another right hand. Watford now resetting. 50 seconds remaining, round number 1. Now Casey coming forward off a right hand and another. Watford against the ring ropes, waving Casey forward. Casey obliges to the inside. Another right hand from Casey. Big to the body goes Pat Casey. On the underhook, we'll see the patience of Dan Murgliata in the active clinch. The turn from Casey, now the separation from Murgliata. Mouthpiece out.
The shoe came off of the referee there.
Not a mouthpiece, it was Dan Murgliata's shoe. Right back to it. 15 seconds remaining, round number 1. Watford staying stationary, center circle, backs off, the bell, that ends round number 1.
And Sean, that was a very good round for Pat Casey right there. But in a way, that might be a little discouraging. He landed some of his best shots in that situation. Some overhand, some hard, powerful shots. Didn't seem to rattle Watford at all. That can be very discouraging. If you hit a guy with your best shot and he walks through it, then you start thinking, what do I got to do to hurt this guy? Especially if they are accurate with the fact that Casey tends to slow down. He gasses out as the fight goes. So that could be a good thing for Sam Watford. If he feels like he can go out there and eat those punches and keep coming. A lot of those didn't land clean, but they were still hard punches. Even if it doesn't land, that was a beautiful shot. Even if they don't land clean on the chin, just hitting you in the shoulder, hitting you on, you feel that power. A few of those were very good shots, and Sam Watford did a great job of eating those punches. Let's see if he can step it up now, if he's accurate with his assessment that Pat Casey gasses out as the fight moves on.
The fighters up to scratch, standing 3 feet apart. Called knuckle up from Dan Murgliata, round number 2 underway. Naked right hand on the step-in thrown by Casey. Watford trying to stay long. Times using the Philly shell in round number 1, staying in the southpaw stance. As you see Casey in the ortho stance.
You can see why the Philly shell is not used very often. You can still get hit with no gloves.
Watford trying to step in. There's the right hook just off the mark from Casey.
Casey doing a great job every time Watford tried to come in. He answers with power.
Clever left hand from Watford. See the hand fighting on the inside, left hand, counter left hand, just missed from Casey. The duck under from Casey, the left hand. Overhand right.
Watford might want to start turning that left hand into an uppercut. As Casey's ducking down into it, it could be a nasty punch.
Casey continuing to use a high guard. In and out on his movement. Bit of flash there from Watford. Watford, long extended jab. Watford is 5'11", Casey is 5'8", but Chris, that's exaggerated, I think, by the fact that Casey is changing levels and Watford has a very upright stance.
The way Watford is leaning back and the way Casey is exploding in, ducking down very low, throw those overhands.
30 seconds remaining, round two. Right hand nearly getting through from Casey. Watford continuing to play off the long jab. Watford continuing to look for those hard entry overhand rights. Just like that, the left hand! And that drops Sam Watford.
Oh, that was not called a knockdown. There was a very good left hand that landed in that spot, too.
Dan Mergliotta ruled that a slip. No protestations from Pat Casey. We fight on. Double underhooks from Sam Watford. That gets the break from Dan Mergliotta. Final seconds, round number two. Left hand, right hand. There is the bell.
Sean, I think that was a huge no call.
Hey, much better when you're straight, though, okay? You gotta stay straight. Dig into the body, he's catching you.
And here we're going to see.
You gotta stop trying to go up. I want you to move, use the double jab.
It was definitely a punch landed there. Let's see if that's what made the knockdown. Watch the left hand. Beautiful, right on the chin. That's a knockdown, Sean. That could be a huge difference. If this fight, let's say Sam Watford's able to come and win these next 3 rounds and wins a decision, that could be a huge call.
Our 3 judges tonight, assigned by the outstanding Mohegan Tribe, Office of Athletic Regulation, headed by Mike Mazzulli. Chris, even if you're one of the 3 judges saying, I believe that was a knockdown, Dan Mergliotta said no knockdown. You have to score it accordingly. You cannot score a knockdown if the referee rules it that it was not a knockdown. Round number 3.
And let's see if that lights a fire under Watford, makes him realize he's got to step up his punching.
Overhand right just misses from Casey. There's a good left hand from Casey again. Another left hand getting through. Bigger swings, left hand, and that is a clean knockdown on the left hand.
No disputing that one.
Watford taking his mouthpiece out, putting it back in.
Watford in this upright stance, he's got to change it up. He's getting hit with these overhands and these hooks often. He's got to do something different.
80 seconds remaining, round 3. Watford off the jab again.
I think the best thing he could do is turn that uppercut underneath instead of that straight left hand that he's going to miss. Pat Casey is ducking his head right into it.
Another big right hand and the left hand. It's the lefts of Casey, Chris, but they're being set up by those entry overhand rights of Casey. Level change, there's the right hand again.
Watford keeps shaking his head no, but they're landing.
Left hand getting through from Sam Watford. Watford now talking to Casey after he landed that left. 40 seconds remaining, round 3. 4 big swings from Casey, double right hand.
The corner of Watford was very adamant that Casey would gas out. I'm seeing none of that in this fight.
Left to the body, the right hand. That was definitely blocked by Watford. Casey continuing to enter, though, on the right hand. Closing stages, round number 3. Pat Casey recording what has been scored as the lone knockdown of this fight here in round number 3. The bell, next up, round 4.
Watford clearly down now in the scorecards. He has to figure out a way to get inside to land those hard shots. He cannot stay outside, throw the jab, and have Casey continue to come inside with those overhand rights and then follow with those left hooks. So it would be nice to see as he is engaged by Casey to throw that left uppercut. That's going to be his best chance.
because he leaps in. Just get that timing. You know what I'm
Chris,
saying?
just off camera,
You know what
off
I'm talking about,
microphone,
right?
Mike Mazzulli, he's the president of the Association of Boxing Commissions, the head of the Mohegan Commission, said that they went to instant replay and they ruled indeed it was a knockdown. So 2 knockdowns have been recorded by Pat Casey in this fight. That's the left hand in round number 2. It was ruled a slip by Dan Miragliotta, but replay review and now determined it's been a knockdown. So that's potentially huge, from a 10-9 to a 10-8 for Pat Casey, and back-to-back 10-8s.
And that's where, you know, Watford really has to step on the gas here. He's got to get a knockdown, or got to get a knockout if he wants to win this fight.
Round number 4. The right hand getting through from Pat Casey. I love innovation in combat sports, and I'm Dan Miragliotta's biggest fan as a person, as a referee, but even the great ones sometimes can miss things. That's why you have technology and replay. Well done, Mike Mazzulli. There's the right hand to the body from Pat Casey. Now, if we can just get him to go with open scoring, Chris. And the left hand, that's clearly a push down. Nearly a full takedown. Miragliotta telling Watford quickly off the canvas.
Watford can't get that in his mind right now. He's got to focus on the task at hand. He's got to push his opponent backwards. I'd like to see that left uppercut.
Casey continuing to work off the jab and then the entry right hands. Watford continuing to try to stay long off the very long right-handed jab from southpaw. 55 seconds remaining, round 4. Right to the body from Casey. Step in jab not there from Watford. Jab to the body. Left hand, right hand.
Philly shell, it's not used very often. I think we're seeing why.
Jab to the body once more from Watford. Watford continuing to talk to Casey. Now pointing at him, taunting him. Casey does not seem bothered in the least.
So I think Casey understands he's winning this fight. You might want to tell Watford, you might want to look at the scorecards right now. Yeah, if we were in the open live score, that'd be great. He could showcase that.
He could literally say, look at the scorecards. Watford coming forward again, left to the body, big left hand. Casey landed on the counter. The bell, we move to the 5th and final round.
Finish show just over the top with that wild left hand. Very easily could have been called a knockdown. Watford was off balance after getting hit with that left hand, grabbed. Maybe the replay crew will make that another knockdown, Sean. We'll have to see.
This is revolutionary with instant replay.
Sean, it's a moot point, to be honest with you, because it doesn't matter. I feel like every round has been won for Casey, including 2 knockdowns.
Just fucking fight.
I mean, Watford has to get a knockout, I should say, to win this fight. He should know this. His corner should know it. They better be telling him. You have to go out there and double that jab up, throw some straight lefts, throw some uppercuts. You have to catch this guy with a meaningful shot.
The words of our colleague Brian Sosha announcing that the 5th and final round is here, and the 5th and final round underway. We'll see if we get the sense of urgency from Sam Watford. There's the clinch from Watford and the separation from Miragliotta. Watford to the body, right hook to the head. That was clever from Sam Watford.
Over the top with those punches. You can't keep throwing these wild left hands.
Miragliotta telling Casey, watch your fingers forward. That was the complaint from Sam Watford. Left to the body. 25 remaining, 5th and final round. Step in left hook from Sam Watford. Double right hand again from Pat Casey. Left hook. Big swings on the inside. Casey landed that left hand.
Casey looking so much more fluid, so much more relaxed in his second BKFC fight.
Right hands, and that's rolled aside by Miragliotta. See Watford continuing to talk to Casey as he comes forward off of the reset from the slip.
Sean, we've had 2 fights. There's probably been 15 times people hit the ground.
Forward from Sam Watford. Hard overhook snatched by Watford. Casey continuing to throw with the left hand on the right hand exit. Left hand again lands from Casey. Casey on the 1-2-1. Clever from Pat Casey. 30 seconds remaining in this middleweight fight. 2 knockdowns recorded by Pat Casey. When it was initially ruled as a slip, changed to a knockdown via instant replay from the Mohegan Commission. All of that might be a moot point, though, because Casey quite possibly has won every round anyway, regardless of knockdowns or not, Chris. Casey's been landing big with the right hand. Watford now pointing to the center circle. Right hand, left hand from Casey. The bell and the end of the fight.
And you gotta like seeing that, Sean. A lot of bad blood talk. Both these guys in their interview and the time before, and a hug right there at the end. Whatever happened before, that's over. These guys settle it.
Yeah. Hey, man. You got ahead. There's nothing you can do when you get ahead.
Now, Sean, might be a moot point. We have to wait for the judge's decision. I think it's pretty obvious right here.
The rounds are so short, you got to do something, you know what I'm saying?
What an improvement from Pat Casey from the first time we saw him to the second. A lot of talk about his cardio, his conditioning, how he gasses out typically in a fight after the first round. We saw none of that. Look just as fresh in the 5th round as he did in the first.
Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 61. Our debut in Connecticut at a spectacular Mohegan Sun is presented commercial-free by Bucked Up Energy Drink. Sam Watford is a very talented fighter. Again, July of last year, Watford defeated Pat Casey by unanimous decision in Pro MMA. But here in BKFC, the second bout in BKFC for Casey, Watford's Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship debut, Watford just could not get his outside game going, Chris.
Well, Casey did a great job of adapting out there and coming inside with those overhand rights, pushing his opponent back with that Philly shell. Looked like he did his homework. He understands it. He fought him in MMA, understands what worked and what will not work in bare knuckle, and he applied it.
Casey's entries with the overhand rights, the double rights, the left hands were phenomenal throughout the 5 rounds. Here's Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, after completing the scheduled 5 rounds, our judges at ringside are all in agreement at 50-43 to the winner by unanimous decision, Pat the Gorilla Ninja Casey.
And Sean, once again, we see where a fighter who fought for us the first time, much improved the second time. Looked like he's been at the gym, he's been training, he really understands what this sport's about now, and he's applied it. He looked fantastic.
5 rounds to none, and then the 10-8 rounds, 1 round apiece, knockdown apiece, 10-8 rounds 2 and 3, 50-43 across the board. The winner by way of unanimous decision, Pat Casey defeats Sam Watford.
Friday, May 17th, the world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, is back. In the main event, a man who's been tearing through the competition, the undefeated Carlos Trinidad Snake, fights his toughest opponent to date, the battle-hardened warrior who hasn't tasted defeat since 2021, Dustin the Disciple Peg. In the co-main event, watch the ferocious Dakota Cochran as he aims to keep his win streak alive when he knuckles up with the relentless Jamie Hit'em Holloway. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com. Welcome to the new BKFC app. Get monthly BKFC events for $7.99.
People that are missing it are missing out big time.
Enjoy our all-new library of content, including behind-the-scenes access, exclusive BKFC original series, and additional live bare-knuckle fights from around the globe. Knuckle up with the new BKFC app, only $7.99 per month.
And we are live from the Mohegan Sun Casino and Resort. BKFC 61 is presented by Bucked Up, OnlyFans, Grunt Style Apparel, and Forged Irish Stout. And now your tail of the tape, brought to you by Rasha.
To the cruiserweight division we go. Chris SARRO versus Scott Roberts.
Both guys 6 foot. You can see that Scott Roberts does have a 3-inch reach advantage. He knows SARRO has power, has to make him pay when he tries to get close.
Scott Roberts set for his debut fight in BKFC. He has had 3 pro MMA bouts. Roberts told us in our fighter meeting, I want to establish and hold a continually uncomfortable pace for Chris Sarro, my opponent in this cruiserweight fight. I'm going to keep changing my tempo, keep changing my rhythm.
He needs to have a more bladed stance in bare knuckle, but he also needs to have pressure by coming straight down the middle with straight punches.
Roberts also said, I'm going to be very precise with my 1s and 2s. I'm going to continually throw straight punches from the pocket, and on the inside, it's going to be all volume from me.
He felt everybody's going to be extremely surprised with the power that he possesses. Really wants to hit that left hand of the body, but he guarantees me, Sean, this fight is not going to go past 1 round.
Six fights in BKFC for Chris Sarro, including July 2020, when he defeated Victor Jones by first-round KO.
And the thing that stands out about Chris Sarro's power, feels like he has power at both hands, really was concentrated on his right hand. You can see in this situation, landed the good right hand. He's talking about now it's his left hand. That's what's really coming along. That's what's developing. He hits people with his left hand. He hurts them. And that's a completion of his metamorphosis to become a good fighter. He had power in his right hand. Now he has it in both.
This is fight number 7 in BKFC for Chris Sarro. He's 1-0 in pro MMA. He's also had 1 pro bare knuckle MMA bout. Sarro told us in our fighter meeting, he's extremely focused on staying relaxed in this bout and extremely focused on being smart. He said, I want to utilize excellent defense, keep throwing snap jabs, and do not take myself off balance by overthrowing my power punches.
Well, he wants to keep range now. Feels like he's better from the outside. Stay long, doesn't need to get inside, but he wants controlled pressure the entire time. He wants to be right in the range that makes his opponent uncomfortable.
Chris Sarro said of his opponent, Scott Roberts, I think I'm going to get a fast start from him, and then I think Roberts is going to try to establish his counter-striking. I have to be adaptive. Sarro also said, I believe I'm faster than Scott Roberts. I have to utilize what I believe is my speed superiority.
And not only utilizing speed, but defense. Understands he's been hit with punches in the past, wants to keep that head off center line, not right in directly in front of his opponent. If he moves out to the side, his opponent's not going to be able to hit the head, and he can counter.
Again, Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for the next fight of the night. Scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the cruiserweight division. Presented to you by Russia. Upgrade to champion mindset with Russia. Introducing to you first. Fighting out of the red corner, tonight he wears red and gold. He stands at even 6 feet tall. His official weight, 205 1/2 pounds. He holds an MMA record of 3 fights and tonight makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Hudson, Florida, here is Scott, the Man Poet, Roberts. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears black. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall. His official weight, an even 209 pounds. Tonight he steps into the squared circle ready for bare knuckle fight number 7. Fighting out of Ellsworth, Maine, here is Chris Golden Glove Sarro. And our referee in charge of the action, Andrew Glenn.
Scott Roberts said, I have to keep Chris Sarro from settling into this fight. I will do so with relentless pressure. Round number 1, fast start off of scratch for Scott Roberts. He's in the red trunks. Black trunks for Chris Sarro. There's the big left hook from Roberts. Another big left hook. Huge swings from Roberts. Sarro trying to turn and counter. Big shots on the left hand. Both fighters down and the left hand getting through as both men were on the canvas.
Roberts just mauling his opponent. Not even...
That's ruled as a double slip by referee Andrew Glenn. Glenn telling Roberts you cannot push down your opponent, and time called by Glenn.
Not sure what the problem with Sarro's is at this point.
Chris, I believe that Roberts continued to throw when both fighters were grounded.
Well, I didn't know if he threw or if he pushed him. It's hard to tell. It was in an area I couldn't really see. you could tell that Roberts was just extremely excited.
Chris SARRO now has up to 5 minutes to recover. And he is on that 5-minute clock.
Hey, that right hand's gonna go.
I think it's
right
the
hand's
hand.
gonna go. Let's go. That right hand, let's go. If he's rushing, clinch up, turn him. If he's rushing,
Fight's
clinch
over.
up, turn him.
This fight is over. A muted finish to what looked to be an extremely explosive fight. Scott Roberts is not celebrating. He looks utterly devastated that this fight has ended, even though he is going to get the win.
Broken. I touched his finger. He's clinching. He's gonna get hurt.
SARRO is extremely upset. Is he going to lose because of that? I don't know if they're going to call that.
Chris, if it's an injury to Chris SARRO's hand in a natural sequence of events, SARRO loses by injury TKO. If it's a foul, it's either going to be a no contest or a DQ.
And that's what I was wondering. Were they going to consider that a foul? See, you can't say that. You're not trying to fight through a broken hand.
Come on.
So this is a rare sequence where this could be a TKO win for Roberts on the SARRO injury. Could be a DQ win for SARRO.
Down and then what the fuck?
Or this could be a no contest.
Not sure exactly how they're going to call it. I think they're trying to figure that out right now. Was it something illegal that was done by Roberts, or was it just an injury, a freak injury that happened as he was on the ground? Well, so I'm not really sure. We're going to find out here. They're talking about it. You can see SARRO is extremely upset.
So at this point, both fighters grounded.
No punch was thrown at that point. Little shot landed on the inside from Roberts. Couldn't really see if that was a hard shot landed.
And Chris, there's a push away when both fighters are grounded by Roberts, but it doesn't look to be a punch by Scott Roberts. To end all suspense, here is Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the advice of our ringside physician, our referee in charge, Andrew Glenn, calls a stop to this fight at 27 seconds into round number 1. For your winner by TKO, Scott the Man Poet Roberts.
And you can see the way Roberts has reacted, not the way he wanted to win this fight. That's the exact right response he should be having, just a look of befuddlement, not sure, feeling bad. Unfortunate that's how it had to end, because that was going to be an action-packed first round.
Referee Andrew Glenn ruled that the injury to Chris SARRO happened under a natural sequence of events, thus the Roberts win. If Andrew Glenn felt that the injury occurred during a fouling situation, quite possibly that would have been a SARRO DQ win. Two explosive 205ers, a muted and somewhat bizarre finish. The winner by first round TKO due to injury, Scott Roberts defeats Chris SARRO.
And here we are, folks. It is the OnlyFans exclusive look. Our main event making the way in, Daniel STRAUS coming in for his second appearance in the BKFC, looking for win number 1. An incredible former MMA champion. And there he is, El Terrible, Jimmy Rivera. Looking for win number 2 right here in his backyard. Jimmy Rivera looking to come out victorious here in the Mohegan Sun. Most certainly a venue he knows very, very well. And I'm telling you, I'm starting to love this place. These are, as Sean said a little earlier, educated fight fans. They love this stuff. Of course, so many incredible boxing matches and MMA fights have taken place right here at the Mohegan Sun. And now you got your first ever BKFC show, and folks are eating it up. What a night it's been here. Now, of course, if you haven't got it yet, get the BKFC app, because that is how you are going to watch our show tonight. That's how you're going to get BKFC 61, including that main event, the big-time co-main event with Trezano and Lopez, and so much more. It is the BKFC app, $7.99 a month. You get the all-access pass. You get incredible exclusive video content like the Bare Knuckle Show with Brian Sosha and so much more. All of our incredible archives. And, of course, our event next week, just days away, 6 days away. We're going to be in Omaha, Nebraska, and you certainly don't want to miss that. A great fight city. That's all in the BKFC app, including the great footage from Knucklemania 4. So if that's no reason to do it. And then, of course, we're going to go south of the border, down to Mexico, returning to Mexico. It's the 25th of May, Rubio and Gallegos. That is BKFC Fight Night. Puebla, Mexico, guaranteed to be a great show down in Mexico. A lot of new talent that we're going to see right there on the BKFC app. And then, of course, listen, we love Denver. They've been asking for us back. You ask, and you shall receive. BKFC Prospect Series, May 31st, Vandermeer and DP on top of the card, but really a lot of new stars to be found there in the Rocky Mountain State, as it is going to be a great night in Denver at the end of the month. And guys, this is it. We were here in Mohegan Sun. We talked about it. We haven't talked about it yet, actually. Arturo Gatti, Mickey Ward, this is where that happened. The fight of the century happened in this arena. You know, they actually have a banner up there. 10 sold-out shows in a row for Billy Joel. I mean, all the biggest acts have come here, and we are so honored to be here at the Mohegan Sun. I feel like Adam Sandler from Uncut Gems, right? That all happened here as well. There you go. You can take a look at some of the great banners here. And, of course, if you're a WNBA fan, a lot of folks are watching WNBA. Caitlin Clark is kind of taken over with Caitlin Clark fever there. Of course, the Connecticut Sun play right here in this arena as well. So this is just truly one of the best arenas in all of the nation. We're happy to be here, and it's filling in as we speak. Everybody here in for a treat with BKFC action. Top of the hour is when it all goes down. We'll kick it off with our main card. Then, of course, the incredible co-main and main. Let's take a look at our OnlyFans exclusive look. Louis Lopez, former title contender, making his way in on short notice to take on a very talented fighter in Mike Trezano. Louis Lopez is such a gritty fighter. If you've never watched Lopez before, always comes to fight, true warrior out of Montana, and for him to show up on short notice, truly a treat for everybody at home and everybody here in the arena tonight. Now the truth is it going to be a treat for Mike Trezano, who's making his debut here at BKFC 61, an MMA veteran that has been there and done that in mixed martial arts, but he's never done it in bare knuckle fighting. Folks, we will see you at the top of the hour. BKFC 61, if you don't have it, get it now. Get the app, $7.99, and we are going live at the top of the hour.
Friday, May 17th, the world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, is back. In the main event, a man who's been tearing through the competition, the undefeated Carlos Trinidad Snake, fights his toughest opponent to date, the battle-hardened warrior who hasn't tasted defeat since 2021, Dustin the Disciple Pay. In the co-main event, watch the ferocious Dakota Cochran as he aims to keep his win streak alive when he knuckles up with the relentless Jamie Hit'em Holloway. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com. Friday, May 31st, the world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, is back with another explosive night of fights. In the main event, Keegan Vandermeer tries to get back to his winning ways when he scraps with a powerhouse who hasn't lost a fight in 2 years, Sawyer DP. In the co-main event, two unbeaten titans collide, but only one can emerge victorious as Andrew Strode knuckles up with Dom the Bomb Carey. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com.